Okay, welcome to the second part of this interesting lecture about the power. And let me get some more light. Okay. I think this is better. We'll continue talking about the power of organization groups. Okay? This is very important. Second part. Let me start my watch. Reset starts not. I hope to not take 40 minutes, should take less. Okay, then the power of organizational group. We talked about an empowerment climate, and we defined it as workplace, atmosphere that support empowerment. Now we talk about the power of organizational group. We talk about the power of organizational groups. Resources, and this is resources dependency model. Controlling critical resources is power. And there are, when we talk about this resource dependency model, is the power resides with subunits that are able to control the greatest share of value organizational power. Here, important resources what? Dollar, money. Everybody is competing for that resource. Production, accounting, marketing, but accounting is the one that distributing. And then there are unimportant resources. What are the resources within the organization that are important or unimportant? The top resources is dollar or financial resources. Okay? Then the second important, HR, human resources. Then expertise within the organization are important resources. Then equipment. Another resource. Energy, even though it's important, is another resource. Land or real estate, another resource. Time itself is a resource. So whenever you have resources within the organization, the person who controls the most important are the person who has what? The power. Strategic contingency model. Power through dependence. One of the most important department in the is the accounting, because it gives the managers the power to allocate the resources. Maybe if I put the second one so that both of them. I'm not good, by the way, with the Bluetooth, but I'm trying it. This is the first time. I hope it will be better. Okay. Strategic contingency model, which is this one, defined as the power of controlling the activities of other subunit. Subunit power enhanced when, number one, it can reduce the level of uncertainty, and it occupies the central position in the organization, and its activities are not substitutable. Okay, let's first go through definition of certainty and uncertainty because it's very important. Uncertainty, defined as lack of knowledge about certain events occurring in the future. Uncertainty. I don't know what's going to happen with the company within coming year or 2 or 3. I don't have enough information. This is uncertainty. Certainty, if things is going normal, I know our each year we have increase of sale by 1 million, 2 million, 3 million, and you know, we don't have crisis like what we are going through right now. We don't have any causes that will slow the economy. But these are, that's why we talked about management of change. Okay. فcertainty والuncertainty. Okay. Uncertainty, sorry, we defined uncertainty, uncertainty, which is lack of knowledge. I don't have enough information, lack of knowledge, so that I can make good decision about certain events occurring in the future. Certainty defined as knowledge about the future event in a certain way. So this is uncertainty and this is certainty. And this is the quantum, and the risk is inside between the uncertainty and certainty. And the risk you take usually more toward the uncertainty. The more certain you are, the less risk you have. The more uncertain you are, the more risk you have. But this is very important quantum. Now, centrality, what is your position as a person within the organization? And or what is your position of your department within the organization? Are they in the center of the event? Are they in the center of decision making? Are they very close? This is, we call it centrality. And this is where you get the power you have. Centrality defines the position of the organization, of organizational unit in central place, important and critical, so it is consulted and has activities that immediate effects on organization, like purchasing, auditing, counting. These are all central, important. Okay. Other department, marketing, public relation, HR is important also. Human resource. Non-substitutable is if a particular department is the only one that can perform the duties or the job. Nobody else can do it except that department. For instance, cybersecurity, or for that matter, the whole security department for oil facilities. Very important. It's very important for big companies, oil companies, but it's not that much important for commercial malls. Depends situation. This is the importance of non-substitutable power. And this is the model. What affect subunit power? High organizational certainty, capacity to reduce uncertainty, and non-substitutable activities. These will define the subunit power. We'll go to the next important aspect of this chapter, which is organizational politics, sexual harassment. Sexual harassment is serious abuse of power. Sexual harassment. Nature and the scope of sexual harassment. How do we define sexual harassment? Is unwelcomed sexual advances, requests for sexual favors, and other verbal or physical conduct of sexual nature constitute sexual harassment when this conduct explicitly or implicitly affect the employer and interferes with the employee's work performance or creates an intimidation, hostile, or effective work environment. Sexual harassment. Do we have it in our companies? Yes, most of the companies have. And they do have rules against it, and they are very strict about it. Sexual harassment, in our culture, in our society, because our culture, society, conservative, religious, it is not tolerated. And if you remember, just before women drive in Saudi Arabia, they passed some very strict law about sexual harassment for ladies or for women that drive in Saudi Arabia. Therefore, the structure was there. Companies like Aramco, Sabic, Skiko, they already have good rules, very strict rules, very firm rules, long time ago. In Saudi Arabia, sexual harassment is a very, very, very serious matter. Okay? Do we have people that has been suspended from work because of sexual harassment? Yes, we do. Okay? Sexual harassment. This slide shows you in the United States the direct cost versus indirect cost. I leave it for your leisure time to go through it because it's also tell a message that sexual harassment costs money companies. Also, it affect their performance. Okay, sexual harassment is important. How to managing sexual harassment? Managing sexual harassment is have and communicate a clear policy. Always take big stand whenever you have an incident and don't take it lightly so that you will make example for others. Train employees about what constitutes inappropriate behavior. Tell the people this is not appropriate. Tell your employees, okay? Ensure clear and effective compliant procedure. Make sure that we have effective and compliant procedure. Take immediate step to stop any harassment. You have to be very firm about it. Contribute personally to non-hostile environment. Try to make your environment non-hostile so that people feel safe to work there. Very, very, very interesting. In the United States also it's a big issue. Okay. Next section, we are going to talk about organizational politics. Selfish uses of power. we talk about so many different power. Would I use it selfish to get some my own gains? If you are in a certain position, if you are director, if you are a minister, if you are big government officials, or if you are CEOs of a company, would you use that to your advantage, the power you have? Okay. We have political behavior forms: gain, control, and selective use of information. Let's first talk about defining organizational politics. And politics is a very fine line, okay? And politics, we said that you have to use sometimes some politics, but you have to be honest about it, and you have to be careful not to be labeled as bad politician. Organizational politics, unauthorized use of power to protect yourself, or a group interest. And there are certain forms of political behavior. These are the forms: to gain control over and selective use of information. You are in the power to get information. This is especially true when you are in the stock market, when you know that's a certain financial thing that you will gain out of that, some money or whatever. Okay. Cultivate favorable impression, which is addressing your success. You use the power always to address, I'm successful, I am, I did this, I did that. Build a powerful coalition. Building a powerful lobbying for ideas before present them. This is kind of politics. You lobby for your ideas and thought to get pre-approval. This is some of the political behavior that people use. Blame and attack others. Another form. Blaming and attacking others. Oh, you say that, you don't have the right, you don't know, okay? This is part of the politics. Associate with powerful people. Always you show up you are with the big guys in the society, big guys in the company, president, vice president, just to give the people impression that you are associated with powerful others. Create obligation and use reciprocity. Creating obligation with the power. I want this, I want that, I want that, and reciprocity. تبادل مصالح. You give me, I give you, you help me, I help you. But this is part of the politics. I don't want to say that politics is dirty, but unfortunately it is. So you have to be honest and good about it. We still have nice, clean, good politicians. Most of the problem that comes to companies is because of those rotten apples, bad politicians, that they misuse their power to get advantage and to use it. Now, why does political behavior occur? We talk about behavior. Personal determinants. Why does political behavior occur? Factors influencing politics. Personal determinants. You remember we discussed the Machiavellians, Machiavelli or Machiavellianism, that it is accepted to use others. الغاية تبرر الوسيلة. You can use whatever you do, you can, in order to reach. This is Italian philosopher that he put the foundation for politics. I don't care. Whatever it takes, I'll just do it. This is the one who made politics very, very bad. Okay? يقول لك I am in a position, خلاص, and I have to take. This is the Machiavelli. You remember the Machiavellism. Machiavellism. Now, we also have something called social chameleons. Social chameleons like doing whatever it takes to get others to like you. You take different form and shape, تتلون زي الحرباء. This is the social. Do we have people like this? Of course we have. We have what we call organizational determinants that we just discussed is ambiguous conditions promote political activities and how political skills affect actual job performance. Whenever things are ambiguous, not well known, not well defined, this will give area for politician to influence others. If it's clear, nobody can say anything. Okay. We have human resources management activities or politics in HRM. This is, for example, how you appraise people, how you hiring and selection, how you do compensation. These decisions all politics. And therefore, human resources play a very important role if they hire the right people, the good people, or if they are influenced by other politics within the organization or within the company. Very important. And that's why HR, very important activity, and it has lots of politics. Large multinational organization, okay? Politics in large multinational organization. Example, he brought Vodafone Group, which is European mobile company or French group, has substitute or subsidiaries all over the world, from Australia all the way to Europe to even Middle East, موجودة في مصر, Egyptian. They need lots of politics. You remember last class, we talk about the conflict that takes place in multinational organization. How to deal with this conflict, how to convince, and some joint venture, they said, we are going to pull, and they threaten to leave. This is lots of politics involved. The more you have these multinational companies, the more politics are involved in taking decisions. Good. What are the impact of organizational politics? By definition, politics is selfish in nature. Politics, selfish in nature. Either by definition or by default. Sometime you do these things, when you take that route, you have to understand that politics is selfish in nature. Interestingly, not everyone react to organizational politics in the same way. Some people, it's okay with them. Some people, they go with it to keep their job. Some people, they like it. And maybe very few people didn't like it. Depend on what type of politics, what type of decisions, what type of rules, what type of procedure. That is very, 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 very interesting about this chapter. And this will conclude our chapter, and our time is so good. We are 23 seconds. Second session took almost half of the time. I'm going to take you again through the board, okay, to see what we wrote here. We put the quantum of certainty, uncertainty, and the risk. And these are the resources, okay, financial resources, human resources, expertise, equipment, energy, land, and time. These are all resources. And this is, again, we took what we talked about through this chapter. Thank you very much, and you have a good day, and I will meet with you virtually tonight, inshallah. You have a good evening.